this is full, and this is full, and there's a lot of stuff in here, and stuff is flowing over into this one, and this is almost full, and there's a lot of stuff in here. This is full, and there's too much stuff in here. This was full, there's a lot of stuff in here that is quickly filling up. This is almost full, and there's like stuff wrongly sorted in here. And then there is this stuff over here. There is this mess over here, which contains a lot of stuff. Over in the corner here, there is more random stuff in both of these. It's also in the chests in the windmill over here. Even in the skeleton room, we have a lot of random stuff everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can probably tell already, we are building a storage system in this episode. So can we please play the intro? In between this episode and the previous one, I updated the map, and not that much has changed. The main things that have changed is the villager queuing system, the yellow building has been added here, and the villager box has moved from over there to over there. And of course we have our beacon on here, but that's not going to stay there for very long. In between this episode and the previous episode, I also did a lot more villager trading. As you can see, I have gathered myself enough emerald blocks to build a second beacon base if we really want to. Also, I gathered myself a lot of diamond armor from the villagers, just in case. If we ever want some diamond armor, we have it right now. Now that I see the results of all of this villager trading, I actually understand very well why Mojang wants to nerf it so badly in the future updates. It is actually very overpowered, because this didn't take me that long to gather. This is one of the reasons why I build my base partially underground. Every single time I start recording, it starts raining, and then I have to wait until I can sleep so I can make the rain go away. Alright, let's get to building that storage system, shall we? The first step in building a storage system, of course, is planning it out. And that means we have to choose a good location for our storage system. And a good location for a storage system is absolutely essential, because you will be running to it very, very often. And I think that means you want your storage system to be in a very central location to where you are very often. And to me, it feels like that has to be somewhere around here, where we are standing right now. Though, I also think that I kind of want to build my storage system underground, which leads me to the following location over here at the giant stairway. Over at the end, at the top here, I think this is going to be a good location for our storage system. I think the beacon is somewhere above this, roughly. I'm not sure, maybe it's more towards that direction, but this should be good enough for a location for our storage systems, especially because I want to expand our underground base here in a lot of different directions here. So that will be very nice. Secondly, we have to determine what we want our storage system to be. And right here, I am going to give you the very important remark. I am not going to automate this storage system. That means I'm not going to do any fancy redstone or like item sorters or all of that. Nope, I'm just going to stack a bunch of chests together and that's going to be it. Though I want a lot of chests because size is important here. We need to determine how big we want our storage system to be, and I want it to be very, very big, because I don't want to move very soon. In the far future, I will probably build a second storage system in which I will do all of the redstone that I just talked about, but that can be a very, very, very big project, and that is just very time consuming, and I don't have the willpower nor the time to do so right now. Right. How do I want my storage system to look? I always like if my storage systems look very epic, very grand. I like a very grand whole of a storage system. Maybe even opulent. I think opulent is maybe a word to describe kind of what I'm going for here. We definitely need to raise the ceiling here, because I want the ceiling to be much higher than this, to get the feeling that I want. I want my storage systems to feel, yeah, epic or grand. And interestingly, in order to achieve that goal, I kind of want to build using some weird blocks that you usually do not build with very often in this game. And that is diamond blocks, gold blocks, emerald blocks, and iron blocks. The gold and the emerald I think I will have enough of, and even if we don't have enough, we can get a lot more very easily. I just started with 16 blocks because I think that's roughly the amount that we'll need. Though with the diamond blocks I am going to mine these ores, and with the iron, surprise surprise, we have almost run out of iron. This right here is the last of our iron. Even when we went mining in that jungle very long time ago in episode 3 or something, we ran out already. And maybe we need to make an iron farm, maybe we need to go mining. I think it will be determined by how much diamonds we get from this, and if we don't have enough, we'll go on a mining trip first. I like mining with Silk Touch because that allows us to mine all of the ores at once, and that's just incredibly satisfying to do. Let's do the iron first, and after that we'll do the diamonds. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most satisfying things in this game. Let's do this, let's mine the diamonds. Oops, and it is going inside of our inventory. I have no idea how many were there to start with, but here we go. Let's see how many we get. I hope we can get just over a stack, but I don't think it's in here. Oh, it's going to be close. It's 58. There we go. And how many blocks is that? Let's go down and let's craft, because I know there is a crafting table here. Like that. That gives us 8 blocks. I don't think that's enough because I kind of want to get 16. That means, ladies and gentlemen, that we'll go on a mining trip first. If from this point on in the video I speak with a slight lisp, that is because my tooth broke off. Although I think it will be very difficult to hear actually in the video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I moved our beacon to down low in our world, because right now we are just on top of the bedrock, as you can see. Because I want to do some mining like this. I don't know what you call it, branch mining or strip mining or whatever. I don't care, I want to do it like that. Usually I go mining in the caves, because in my opinion that is faster. But in the new terrain generation, since, I don't know what update it was, 1.18 or whatever, I have never actually done strip mining in Minecraft, and I kind of want to see what we get here, because from what I can find on the internet, diamonds seem to be more common the lower you go, so that's why we are at the bedrock. So, we'll be mining over here. That's also why I brought the haste 2 beacon over here. Simply by excavating this box and the ladder down here, we already got some ores, including some diamonds, which is, of course, what we are after right now. We also want iron, but that's only secondary, because we can get more iron very quickly. Also, made sure both of our pickaxes have full durability by standing a little bit at the skeleton farm. But yeah, let's do this. Let's actually start, and I want to start digging in this direction. I don't really care what direction it is, because we'll probably have to turn back soon. Oops, and I am mining ores that I didn't see. That's actually not my intention here. I kind of want to mine them using the Silk Touch pickaxe, so that we have a large collection of ores towards the end of this mining session that we can then mine all at once, because that is just way more satisfying. Now that I am mining like this, oh, there's diamonds here, oh my god, I just wanted to talk about something and then I immediately find diamonds. That's, what a coincidence. Alright, we're like just started here. Alright, now that I am mining here, I am again confronted with something that I talked about quite a bit actually already on this channel. And that is the dilemma of what is relevant enough to show you. Because you could argue that this is very boring and that this is not relevant to you, the viewer. But at the same time, I also think that this is like useful stuff because I want to have you more involved in our world here. And in a certain way, I also want to show you everything because I feel like I have to somehow prove that I do everything like legit and I don't cheat. Though I don't think there is much like doubt about that, I still feel like I should somehow show that I do everything like fair in survival. And yeah, that means that we get to the dilemma of, you know, do we show this or do we not show this? And that's kind of annoying to answer because, you know, I think this is not boring as long as I can keep talking, but once I run out of things to say, this will be very boring very quickly. Yeah, so that means that I am unsure whether or not you will even get to see this. And right now I am definitely leaning towards just skip all of this and just show you the results afterwards. Even though I still think this is very... oh dear, there's lava. Yeah, so even though I still think this is very relevant stuff. Whoa, the radius on the beacon is actually really short. We really run out of the haste effect really quickly. Because over there is already the thing, and it's like only 10 seconds of walking until I am at the beacon. So perhaps I will do a lot more strip mining, but without the haste effect. I mined quite a bit here around our beacon, as you can see. And I stopped mining because my pickaxe is about to break. And from this mining session we got a lot of resources, mainly a lot of deep slate, a lot of tuff and a lot of gravel. And in this top chest there are more blocks. But in this chest there are the valuable things that we got from this. And I'll get to mining this diamond ore in a second here, but there is something else that I want to show you first. And that is something that I completely forgot about just a second ago. Because when I mined this hole, where I placed the ladder right here, I came across a cave right here. And in here we also got a couple of the ores that I showed you. But over here there is a spawner. It's a zombie spawner right here. There wasn't anything too valuable in these chests. This is a Curse of Vanishing book. And the iron bar and the gold bar that were in the chests down here come from that spawner, from the chests in that spawner room. So we came here for the diamonds, so let's take those out and let's mine them, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We are mining 44 diamond ore in the hope to get enough diamond blocks to build the thing that I want to build, and I think that we will get enough from this. Oh yeah, definitely, we are already over a stack. That's very nice actually. This is like bordering the largest amount of diamonds that I ever had in a survival world here. So I am really like pleasantly surprised here. Yeah, I didn't pay too much attention to it, but you saw how much I got there. I immediately stacked it with the diamonds that we already had, but yeah. Alright, let's craft it into diamond blocks here. Let's see how many we get. We get 20 exactly. That should be plenty, I think. Because I don't want to overdo it. So, yeah, there we go. Let's actually get to, finally, building the storage system. Oh, before I get to that. Usually, before I do a big build, we do some resource gathering. But in this case, that's actually not necessary, because we still have a lot of resources around. All of this oak is from that time that I cleared out this entire field right here. So I think we should be good on the wood. And similar to many of the other resources, I want to build with a lot of colors, a lot of wool. I think the most annoying thing to get, I want to make the ceiling out of like the different terracotta, different color terracotta. And I think that will be the most annoying thing to get. Though nothing is certain yet, and I am not completely sold on the design that I have right now, so maybe we'll change some things, and that will also mean that I need some different resources for that. But if that's the case, we'll gather them quickly, and yeah, let's get to building that thing, finally. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now comes a time where we clear out a space to build in. And originally I wanted to do this as a time-lapse. However, I decided against that for multiple reasons. Firstly, in Minecraft 1.20.2, the Replaymod doesn't work. And secondly, because I don't know yet how big I want this thing to be, so how far I want to go back. And it's really annoying when you have to stop your time-lapse like halfway through because you are still like going back and forth between, you know, different options. So I definitely want the ceiling to be a lot higher though, so that's like one thing that we'll definitely do. And another thing that I have in mind is I kind of want my storage system to have a cross shape. Yeah, so I'll probably like try to figure out like how wide I want my thing to be first, and like one arm of the cross, I think I will build one arm of the cross first and then just copy it ×4 once I have that figured out. I have dug out some blocks here, and I've also placed a couple blocks here. And I have figured out that this is roughly the size that I want the entrance to my storage system to be. And if you are wondering right now, why do you want the entrance to your storage system to be this ridiculously big? Well, remember, I want my storage system to feel very grand, and size definitely plays an important role in that. So essentially, I want my storage system to be big. I have to be careful here a little bit though, because I am changing the shape of what we already built here, this stairway. And that could make it so this doesn't work anymore and this looks ugly. Though I think it could still work with a lower ceiling here, we just have a transition here, that could work. And I also think that it still would work if we raise the ceiling higher over here as well. But those are things for later. Right now we are going to focus on this side, on the storage system. And now I'm going to try and figure out how I want my thing to be here, like the layout of the chest and stuff. So yeah, let's get you back when I figured that out. I settled on a design for our storage system here. This is what it has become, and I really love how this looks. I think this is great. But I really struggled on this. Like, this took me so much time. I went through so many different iterations of how I wanted this to look and so many different things that I have tried. Because originally I wanted to involve you a lot more in the design process of this. But I decided against that because I struggled so badly on this that I think it is very difficult to, you know, coherently bring it over in the video. So, you know, I'm just going to leave it out. I don't like doing that because now it's just, poof, here's a really nice design. How did you get there? Originally, I had a design in mind where there were like 2 floors essentially. The chests at the bottom, you would have like a 3x3. Maybe it would be one lower than it is right now. And then you would have like a walkway over there, a sort of balcony. And then a second like floor section of chests up there with again a 3x3. And then you would have to go up there in order to access the chests on the top. But that just didn't look right and I couldn't get it to work. The times where it worked best, you had to move the chests at the top floor one back into the wall, and that just looked weird. And, you know, designing a storage system is just difficult overall because you have to account for so many different things. You have to make sure there is some way of indicating what items go where. Right now we do it with item frames on colored wool. You have to make sure there is crafting tables everywhere because in a storage system you will absolutely need those. I really wanted to incorporate these, how do you call them, precious blocks. And I went through iterations where those were in the wall, but that also didn't feel right. And of course there is the lighting, because you might notice there is no torches on the floor here, but the floor is kind of decently lit up. And that is because we hid some hidden lighting under trapdoors underneath the chests there. And there is also lighting from the torches and from some glowstone behind the chests up on the wall. Maybe I can show that. We go behind here. So there's wool behind the chests to further indicate the color of, you know, sectioning them off so you know what goes where. And on the top there's carpet with glowstone above it, so the light will shine through behind the chests. And, you know, I really like this design, so I think I'm going to copy this a bunch in order to build our storage system here. Oh yeah, everything is coming together very nicely here, because I absolutely love how this looks and feels. This feels amazing in my opinion. And with this, I think I have figured out like the size of one of the arms of my cross-shaped storage system here. So that basically means that I want to copy this 4 times to get like the 4 arms of the cross. And if you are thinking right now, well, that's ridiculous because then your storage system will be huge. That, ladies and gentlemen, is by design. I want a absolutely humongous storage system so that I never ever have to care again about running out of storage. Simply because I know that in the long term, I will eventually need a lot of storage. So let's try and dig ourselves, you know, the place that we will build this, the 4 arms of our cross here, or actually just 3 of them. Actually, we first have to design the center of our cross-shaped storage system here, because right now I don't know how far back I have to dig before I start going to the sides, because I don't know the size of our centerpiece here. And I'm going to be honest with you, I never really thought this through. Like, of course, I think that the centerpiece will be very important because, you know, it's the centerpiece. And I think it will be absolutely essential in, you know, selling the fact that this is a very grand storage system. So maybe I should think about that first, because I think it's important. I'm afraid that we are kind of limited with our centerpiece here. Originally, I was thinking about a lot of things, possibly a water feature here, an aquarium or something. But I think we are limited because we don't have much space. And the reason for that is, after the centerpiece, we copy this again. And if we make the centerpiece like this wide, and this is like the first floor pattern thing the same as over there, so over here we would have our first chests, that would mean that we end exactly at that back wall over there. And I think that's big enough. Like, I don't want to go much bigger. And if we want to have a more detailed centerpiece, like a water feature or a statue or whatever, I think we will, you know, end up with a too big storage room. And I think I don't want that. I'm not sure though, I'm still debating a little bit. I just had a little break and then I continued building, and suddenly it struck me. The beacon, that is the ideal centerpiece for this build. And so I moved our beacon here. And I really like this because I think the beacon really helps with the grand feeling that I am trying to go for. Next up, I'm going to try and build all of these things without adding the chests and the wool stuff on the top there. Alright, now I built all of this, and this is the point where I ran out of wood. And I'm not really surprised by that. We don't need too much oak wood anymore, basically just like the arches in the ceiling there. That's like the main thing that will cost us wood, but we still have like half a stack of stairs left. So that will be fast to gather that wood. However, the thing that will be very time consuming here is gathering the wood for the chests here. And let me tell you, that will probably not get done in this episode. Simply because, you know, you can calculate it yourself. Like, it is a lot of wood that is needed for this. What I am going to do though is farm a little bit of wood for the trapdoors here. And maybe I am going to try and place in the wool that goes behind the chests right there, and behind all of the chests we will do different colors. Actually, I take back my words. I went on a quick little trip to get some more wood, and from the wood that I got from this short trip, I was able to craft quite a lot of chests already. And at this rate, I don't think it will be that bad to get all the chests that I need for here. But I'll first see how far I get with the chests that are in my inventory right now, and based on that I will decide whether or not I continue to fill them in all the way. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, with the chests that I collected earlier, I was able to fill in about 3/4 of the chests that I had to fill in this build here. And that was actually really nice, because that's way more than I expected. And because of that, I decided to quickly go back and get some more wood and get it done all the way. And I already started placing in the wool here. And I also collected some clay to finish the ceiling as well and get this build completely done. However, the bottleneck for what we are trying to do here is the green dye, strangely enough, because you can't bone meal cactus, so you can't really produce a lot of green dye very quickly. I might actually make a quick pickle farm thing here to manually gather some pickles to get the lime wool in place actually. But right now I am first going to smelt my clay that I have collected, because I have collected a lot of clay. And I am going to do that, and I'm going to use that for the ceiling there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the different stained terracottas. Like, for example, here is red wool, and I think like up to the middle I'm going to use red terracotta, and then right there I will use light blue terracotta. And I think I'll get you back when I filled that in. For the middle section here, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do something fancier, but I'm not sure yet. Maybe we can leave that for our next episode, I'm not sure yet. Ladies and gentlemen, I can now proudly declare our storage system to be completely finished. I finished it, I filled in the ceiling with the colored terracotta, I placed in the item frames, however I have not put in the items yet because I'm not sure what I want the items to be yet. Also, I finished the ceiling in our centerpiece here, and I decided to just spam some random blocks here, predominantly glazed terracotta. But there are also some weird blocks in there. For example, I used the leftover diamond blocks that we collected in the beginning of the episode. And there are also a couple crafting stations here that we will probably use, because this is, after all, a storage system. And I am so ridiculously happy. Like, you cannot imagine how happy I am with this build. Simply because it's almost like exactly as I envisioned it earlier. Like the grand feeling I was constantly talking about. Like, I feel like I completely managed to get that grand feeling in here. And that's amazing. Like, this build feels so nice. And in size, it's exactly the size that I want. Because, you know, it's huge for the storage system. most players for Minecraft don't need this much storage, but I think on the long term I will. And yeah, I'm just so happy. This is like the first relatively big project that we finish in our world. So this gives you an idea of the things that I have planned. Besides the skeleton room maybe, but this is definitely bigger in size than the skeleton room. So yeah, it just makes me happy. This build just makes me happy. But, ladies and gentlemen, sadly, the finishing of this build also brings me to the end of this episode. And the end of the episode also, sadly, brings the fact of the video. Well, I say that as if the fact of the video is a sad thing, but actually it's a very exciting thing in my opinion. And the fact of this video is that in the year 1900, the city of Las Vegas had a population of 22. I would like to thank you for watching. I hope I can see you again in the next episode. And as always, keep wondering.